everybody? Welcome back to my show. Technosis here today. It's been a minute. I meant to come back and do one of these a little earlier than I did, but just as a recap, we have a new tapestry. I also have a new microphone, so hopefully now you can hear me a little better. I'm trying to think that this will make me a little more professional, but only time will tell. So let's get on with the show. As for my delay, let's say, since this coronavirus thing has happened, and now the whole world's taking this thing really seriously, more so than I feel like any of the other illnesses that I've ever been alive to experience, like bird flu, swine flu, avian flu. I mean, I feel like avian flu is bird flu. Sorry, but I've never seen them shut down all these businesses for flu, so that's new. I don't know though. You know, with all this social distancing going on and being at home, this is a great thing to do. Making this video right now, it's just giving me something to do. That's yeah, breaking up the monotony of hanging out at my house right now with my cat, which honestly is pretty great. I like having a little laid back, but my rent, apparently I still have to pay my rent, but I don't have a job at the moment. So there you go. This is why I'm here with you. Hopefully you can one day take pity on me and throw me some bills. Yeah? Yeah? Who knows? We'll see when it happens. But going with that topic of social distancing, it seems like this illness is bringing the world to a stop in a little ways. Some of us haven't even stopped striding yet. I know we're still in our stride, some of us at least, depending on what your career is and that kind of thing going on in your life. This virus thing may not be affecting you at all, which good for you if that's the case. But for me, I'm not making any money right now, which is fine. I have savings. I'm smart enough to save some money and not get a little too spend crazy, even though I'm buying microphones and little recorders. I don't even know where the thing went, but buying all sorts of stupid shit, you know, instead of saving it. But I like that stupid shit. I'm gonna go use that stupid shit to make these videos for y'all, to make some music at some point too. This is a tentative idea. I want to try making organic beats. That's just basically just recording like random bits of audio and then taking one of those studio programs and playing with the noise itself. I have to go watch a YouTube video. I don't know any of the words, so I don't know any of the jargon. I can't sound smart about this, so I don't want to talk about it just yet. So there you go. And yeah, so back to the social distancing idea. The whole world is at a pause. What's the deal? I feel like culturally, globally, we're trying to come up with something new. That or somebody shuffling money around. I don't know what's going on entirely, but things are changing. Things are definitely changing. Who I'm hanging out with is changing a lot, which is obvious because social distancing, you can't hang out with everybody. I can't hang out with my grandparents. They waved at me from the door. They were like, hey, don't come any closer. And I was like, no worries, fam. I'm not going to get you sick. But that's kind of hilarious. Your grandparents are freaking out. Yeah, maybe. Is this the boomer virus? I don't know. Let's not get into that. But the point is that the people I'm hanging out with are changing. It's going through some flux right now. Relationships. I got broken up with like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So like, ta-da! Hey, I'm still going and things are cool. My people and I are good. We're good. We're good. I don't know what to call them now because I don't want to say ex or some shit like. That just sounds, I don't know, whatever. My people are good, and I am also well. That's good enough for me. But truthfully, yeah, letting people go. Like, you need to be honest with yourself. The people you surround yourself with are gonna help you be a better person yourself. I read some Aristotle and some other shit about this recently, and it comes down to one concept: virtue. Alright, manifesting virtue. Virtuous friends are good friends. Ultimately, a person that you would give the label or title friend to would be someone who will be good for you. You having a relationship with friend equals you having a better life because of your relationship with this person. Either they encourage you to do the right thing, or they scratch your back and make you feel good or something. You know, that's friend right there. That is what friends should be. If you have friends who somehow bring you down and leave you off less than you were before, I wouldn't call them a friend. More of an adversary. But we shouldn't put it in such terms that, you know, it doesn't have to be. Because when you say adversary, you think, oh, now I gotta fight this guy, and or gal, whoever, whatever is going on in your life. I don't encourage you. I don't think you should fight them. Nobody should be fighting. It's fine. You don't need to fight. You can say what you mean with your words, and you can walk away. And that's about the most power you need to exercise to like get through social stuff these days. But yeah, truthfully, some people are not going to be good for you, and it comes down to virtue. What is virtue? What are the core components of a virtuous friend? A virtuous friend has 4 elements working inside them. They have a little bit of wisdom, the appropriate amount of courage, a sense of justice, and a sense of moderation. So they're not like taking on your shit, and when something bad happens to you unjustly, they stand up for you. And when it comes to like being how to be a good friend for them, like when you ask for space, they wisely give you some space. It's all of these basic things, and if you have people who represent those 4 elements, and you yourself are trying to manifest those elements within yourself, you are a good friend. You are a good person, first and foremost. But if I know you, or we ever, honestly, let's put it this way. Anyone who is virtuous and is trying to attempt to become trying to manifest those 4 things within themselves is a friend of mine. Because, truthfully, yes, that's how it should be. A virtuous person doesn't. I don't even need to know a virtuous person to know they are my friend, because of these simple things that they do. And essentially, if the whole world was more virtuous, we all tried to be friends with each other and have a focus on improving these virtues within each other, we'd probably live in a lot nicer space. We'd have healthier relationships. Keely. And that's, honestly, let's be honest, a healthy relationship is something to rejoice over. A healthy relationship is the best thing ever. And part of what your life here on earth is to have a good relationship with yourself and other. And a good relationship requires you to be virtuous. Like, really. And it's not, at the end of the day, it feels really good when you're virtuous. And you've demonstrated wisdom, justice, moderation, and courage. If you've demonstrated those things, then you're well on your way to being a very healthy and happy human being. And in some ways, it'll make your life easier. I mean, I can't guarantee it. Sometimes when you learn and master these skills, your life will throw greater challenges at you. But then again, that's up to you, and where you spend your time and space, what portion of space you're in, and how you spend your time. Who knows? You'll have to see, truly. But stemming from that, let's all take a moment, because now we have the time to hang out with friends and address these kinds of issues. Think about the relationships that you have with others, and are they good? Are they ultimately good for you? Are they virtuous friends? Are they virtuous relationships? I think that's a very powerful lesson that I've been learning in this last few weeks, and it's promising to know that a lot of these concepts and topics have already been discovered in some way or another. Like, this all comes from Greek philosophy. I know I've read a lot of this. That's why my show Technosis is gonna have a lot of philosophy along those lines. It's just the nature of gnosis. I mean, the Greeks are the ones, I'm pretty sure, who came up with the word gnosis. Don't quote me on it. I didn't actually look that up to be sure, but I'm pretty sure. Okay. So, when it comes to having good people around you, they help you to be a better person yourself, and vice versa, you help them to be a better person. As long as you pay attention to these virtues. I actually had a friend I had to tell them that we need to figure something out, really. Because so her problem is she is attracted to men who are basically somewhat abusive to her. Part of her issue is she doesn't want to make up her mind on what to do with herself. Like, now that the coronavirus has hit, she's lost her job also. Yet instead of just hanging out at home and eating snacks with her cat or something like that, like literally like I am, I don't know. I don't want to draw too many comparisons. We're different people for sure. But instead of just staying home working on something like that, she finds another bad boyfriend, I guess. Basically a man who just tells her what to do. I don't understand why that's what she needs, but I guess that's what she needs, is someone to tell her what to do. And so she likes to hang out with these people and hook up with them and basically be kidnapped in some weird way by them. Not any crazy extent. Like, I'm sure she could leave if she wanted to, but to some degree she's willfully walking into bad situations. and situations that she and I have discussed outside of all the parties concerned here. My friend and I have sat down and talked about what she's doing since the virus has hit and she doesn't have her job. And we've both established that she's just spending all her money, going straight into poverty, and then looking for basically a bad relationship to spend her time, because she doesn't know what else to do with her time. And we established that is exactly what she's doing right now. And then she didn't, and we made plans to like see each other the next day to like talk about it some more. I mean, really, I never actually sat down with her in person to talk about it initially. It was just through a phone call, but then like during the phone call we talked about meeting up the next day to kind of establish like a protocol for what we should do about it, what she should do about the situation, how she should step out of it if she wanted to. Obviously we should have discussed whether she wanted to or not, because the point is none of it happened. I don't know what she's up to now, but I feel bad because I care about this person a lot. I don't like seeing her do this to herself, but there's nothing I can do ultimately, and so I find it frustrating. I don't know if I should just stop talking to her and say like, look, you're not my friend anymore, or if we should essentially just wait it out. I mean, realistically what's going to happen is time is going to pass and we're going to talk again at some point in the future, but it confuses me. Why would you want to go into a purposely bad space or spend your time in a not so positive way, just so blatantly and purposefully, when someone who cares about you talks to you about it and establishes that's exactly what you're doing and then continues to do it. I mean, okay, I'm not that special. I know, I'm not that special. I'm not asking to be that special. I'm just saying, you went through a domestic violence shelter and a bunch of other shit trying to get out of the life that you had fallen into, and you're just going right back into it right now because of this virus thing. It's gonna be fine though. Ultimately it's gonna be fine, but like, what even? What even? Although I have to say, I do some dumb shit like that myself, you know? That's how life is, fam. Make mistakes. Sometimes you make these mistakes a lot. Sometimes you stop making mistakes, you learn from it, and then some time passes and you go back to making the same mistakes again. The only way to get over that, the only way, and we discussed this in our last video, is through awareness. You must be aware of when it's happening before you can do something about it. It's really, like, I don't know, that's pretty obvious, I think. Yeah, basically, there is a small lack of awareness in my friend in what she really wants ultimately for herself. She thinks that this happiness that she's chasing in the moment is going to satisfy her in the long term. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure she knows that it's not going to, but she's just so devoted to having it in the moment, she's willing to forego it in the future, which is a terrible bet. I mean, honestly, the sad, hard truth is, nothing comes easy. Everything takes a bit of hard work. When you work hard at something and you take your time, like really, a project that takes many years to complete, in some cases might be a project worth doing because it takes so much effort. Who else is going to do it? Who else? I mean, if it's an important enough project, I suppose. I don't know if you've seen that whole new Discovery Channel documentary on at nighttime. I'm sorry, I wish I had the name for it. I just watched it again last night. But whatever, I'm bad at this stuff. But basically, whoever shot the film for this was basically coming from the field of photography. They probably did all the color shots, daytime shots, and they were like, what if we just did this in infrared? Just everything in infrared. It's genius. You take the infrared filter out of the camera, you put a like a visible light filter on. You just go out and you film the same stuff at night. Very smart idea. Spectacular results. And all you're doing is just changing your awareness of the bandwidth and frequencies of light. So instead of looking in your visible light, you're going to go back down to lower frequencies and look at the heat spectrum, the infrared, which is pretty profound. Because you can see the heat, like it moves through stuff that you can see through things that you wouldn't normally see through. Actually, in fact, I have a little clip I can throw in here. Coca-Cola in infrared is transparent, so if you look at a bottle of Coca-Cola, which is typically really dark and black, you look at it through infrared, you see right through it. It looks like a clear glass of water, which is really weird when you think about it, because that stuff is very dark, you know? I don't know. I don't drink Coke much anymore. I'm sorry to bum you all out. I don't do a whole lot of sugary snacks like that, or drinks. You see these teeth? Can't put no Coca-Cola on that. No thank you. Alright. Well, I think that about concludes our video for today. Thanks, and tune in sometime in the future. Hopefully next week, but we'll see.